So Tuesday was a cataclysm. Let's not kid ourselves. An electoral map wipeout. In the Senate, our effective ceiling for Democrats is now 52 seats. The ceiling for Republicans is 62 seats. That's unacceptable. And well, nobody has all the answers right now. I certainly don't. What I think is most important is that we not kid ourselves. This is not a moment for small changes or reforms. This is a moment for a fundamental rebuild of the left. Just a couple decades ago, we could win races in Missouri and Florida and Ohio. Today, we get clobbered in all of those states. That's unsustainable for us and for this country. So here are a few thoughts that I have at the outset about the conversation we need to be having. First of all, we are not listening to the people we claim to represent. We claim to be the party of the working class, the party of poor people. And yet we let interest groups and think tanks tell us what those people need. That's why we end up with these relatively small ball solutions. I'm not saying they don't matter, but more roads and bridges, bulk negotiation of prescription drug prices, a little bit bigger tax credit for families with kids. That's not meeting the moment, because Americans are exhausted by a neoliberal economic order that has consolidated power in the hands of the few, that has forced them to become global citizens instead of having some unique local identity or a true sense of being an American citizen. Technology has forced us into these cycles of withdrawal from each other. People feel isolated, they feel impotent, they feel deeply anxious. Democrats spend almost no time actually matching policies to the way that people feel. Now, mass deportation and closing our borders permanently, that's bad policy. But it speaks to a legitimate feeling that people have, that there are these global forces like increased migration that are outside of our control, that we are at their mercy. People are looking for control, and one of the ways that Republicans deliver them a message of control is control of our borders. Democrats need to understand that Republicans start by examining the way that people are actually feeling and then matching policies to the way that they're feeling. Democrats need to start doing the same thing. If we did that, we would pick bigger fights. We would be a more populist party. We would name the corporations and the billionaires that are screwing people, and we would take it to them. Now, that's something that the Harris campaign did not do. And frankly, when leaders in our party like Bernie Sanders do it, they largely get shamed or shunned as dangerous populists. Maybe that's because if we actually were fighting billionaires, if we were actually engaging in true populist economic ideas, it would hurt our coalition, which these days tends to be higher income people who don't want the status quo fundamentally upset. So for me, those issues of true economic populism, moving power from people that have it to people that don't have it, that has to be the tentpole of our coalition. And here's the other hard truth we have to face. We cannot win if we don't build a bigger tent. And in order to build a bigger tent, we likely have to have economic populism as that tentpole and then allow into the tent people that do not agree with us on 100% of our core social, cultural issues, as well as other hot button topics like guns and climate. I think we'd be better off fighting out discussions around some of those very difficult social and cultural issues inside our tent instead of pushing everybody who disagrees with us outside. So that's what I'm thinking about today.